Hello, I'm Franklin Jones. I'm the author of The Black Matrix. I'm going to give you a brief example of what the Matrix really is. You see, people function based upon narratives that have been imposed upon them and indoctrinated into their minds by their ruling elites. A great example of this would be soldiers. When a soldier is given the right narratives, that he is a liberator, a rescuer. He's fighting for freedom. These narrative motivates him, and he will then go into other countries and kill people he don't even know. He will even at times lay down his own life to defend those narratives. It doesn't matter that the narratives that have been indoctrinated to him into his mind are not true. What matters is that the soldier believes the narrative. People often function based upon narratives that have been imposed upon them and indoctrinated into their minds. This is a secret that the ruling elites have known for forever. They are well versed in this and they've studied this. They are social engineering scientists and propaganda experts who depend on this science. Likewise, the same system is used against targeted populations. When a population, people constantly function based upon narratives about themselves. I will give an example of how this works. Let us imagine that there is a ship out at sea, and the ship has been followed by a second ship, and the second ship is constantly bombarding the first ship with fraudulent negative messages about themselves. Such messages that the first crew, the ship is not seaworthy, perhaps slowly sinking, or the crew is incompetent, the ship is lost, or a mutiny is being planned. With time, the group constantly receiving the negative message about themselves will become besieged by the message. The message will begin to affect how they perceive each other. They will start hitting each other, distrusting each other. We are greatly controlled by narratives imposed upon us and indoctrinated into us. People are often controlled by the information they receive about themselves. For example, if a people constantly receive positive messages about themselves, this unifies them. There's this raise of self-esteem. They feel good about themselves, and it has a unifying effect. But then reverse, when a people are constantly subjected with negative information about themselves, the reverse happens. They start hating each other, distrusting each other, and they become more compliant with their oppressor's dominance over their lives. This is a system that's being used against us and it's being deployed through the media. Now, saying that, what quantifies this? Where is the history of this? There is a history. And it dates back to a Dr. Edward Bernays. He was a mass manipulation expert. It was Bernays that so impressed the ruling elites of how you can control people through the information that you constantly feed them. Bernays' system of control was so effective that in the 1930s, the tobacco industry said that there were millions of women who didn't smoke back then, and it was considered taboo for women to smoke. So Dr. Bernays created this media campaign perpetuating the cigarette smoking among women as a torch of freedom. And he put it all in the media, all over the magazines. And the women saw the image, and they perceived the image as power, empowerment, and they started smoking. Millions of women started smoking based on this campaign. Dr. Bernays was also used in terms of fluoride. Fluoride used to be a poison that was used many years ago. And when they started putting it inside toothpaste, there was this backlash where the public didn't want it. So they again hired Dr. Bernays to create a campaign making it appear as attractive. The same thing was done with bacon. There was a time when bacon was considered as throwaway. Dr. Edward Bernays did a campaign to get Americans to start buying bacon. So the system of control through information is real. And it's what's being done to us. We go around believing that some of us believe that we're cursed, or that we're affected by the Willie Lynch myth or some biblical prophecy. But these things, when you study them, the origin, those are not our problems. Our problem is that those White elites who have the power and the ability to impose narrative upon us, negative narrative, that serves their interests are doing so. This is a system we call the black matrix, and we tend to function based upon these false negative narratives. And another example, we have many black women, black men that function based upon the notion that black love doesn't exist. We have they believe that blacks are marrying other spouses, other races at a disproportionate amount. But in reality, according to the U.S. Census on marriage in America, African American men, the married ones, are married, 86.5% are married to black women. Only 7% are married to white women. African American women, 94% are married to black men. Only 4% are married to white men. We are functioning based upon a distorted illusion of ourselves because you control the people through demoralization. It's time to wake up to the system that's being used against us. Thank you. One love, my brothers and sisters.